Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. I am Brett the Jet in the booth here tonight with the racing from the 802 Riptide Radio Next Gen Cup Series here tonight at Dover. Tonight at Dover, these drivers will try and complete 160 laps and keep out of the hands of this guy right here, Miles the Monster. He is hungry and looking for some drivers. Tonight, we have 33 drivers getting ready to do battle here for race number 2. As coming into tonight, we'll take a quick peek at the timing and scoring. And right now, the 21 machine of Rob Lowell sitting with the quick time at a 23 flat. So that will probably be some times that these drivers will have to try and shoot for. I tell you what, folks, I am excited for tonight, as with this season, every race matters. There are 2 drop weeks that a driver can have. So if your favorite driver does have a bad week, you know, he has 2 to fall back on, but we will keep score points for every race. No playoffs, nothing like that. So it is going to come down to consistency if a driver wants a shot at the big trophy at the end of the season. So a lot to pay attention to each and every week, and those wins are going to be oh so precious. As last week, the number 19 machine, Jacob Bowen, picking up the first checkered flag of the season. Right now, he sits 15th in the timing and scoring. So Jacob going to try and find some more speed here coming into tonight as the points leader. But here our first kind of real track as camera watch on out as we get ready to wrap up practice and head over to qualifying. As of course, quick time with qualifying does come with a reward, and that is courtesy of Leaf Guard of Vermont. As yeah, Josh, that could definitely do it. How are we doing here tonight, Josh? I'm doing pretty well myself. Hopefully you're having a good night here as we get ready to send these cars off for qualifying. We'll see who hits the track first. Looks like one of the first to roll will be last season's champion, as he will shut it down here quickly, reset and retry. So Ross maybe didn't like something he was feeling right out of the get-go that last time, and will now head on to the backstretch. Next time by, we'll send the 44 on the clock here. Off of turn number 4, the 44 will come, and John Ross goes on the clock here on lap number 1. Ross, of course, having a stellar season last season, one for the record books, as he claimed quite a few of them by the end of the season. Of course, Daytona, it's anyone's race, so we'll keep an eye here on Ross as he gets to some more of his bread and butter. These intermediate tracks were very strong for the 44, and lap number 1 goes quick time for John Ross at a 23.34. We'll get the rest of the standings there on the left side of your screen, but right now, Ross, the best out of everyone so far of the 18 drivers that have taken time. Now Jacob Bowen to the top. Bowen, lap number 1, 23.19, good enough for a quick time. We'll jump on to lap number 2 for the 19. Looks like he is just gonna shut it down here. So Bowen right now, quick time. We'll take a look now at the 69 HendricksCars.com. This is Chris Taylor. Taylor getting a run for lap number 1. Taylor will cross the stripe. We'll see where he slots on in. I think he might have got a piece of the wall there on the front stretch, excuse me. And I think that did not allow the lap. So Taylor, I think, got another piece of the wall. If that's the case, Chris Taylor will not take a lap here in the 69. As Taylor will cross the stripe, and now he will get one that time, 26 at the stripe. Now we'll go to the Iron Man himself, Johnny Barker, in this number 6 Valvoline machine. Barker looking fairly decent here on lap number 1. We'll see what he clocks in at the stripe for lap number 1. Barker 14th quick, so Barker gonna try and find a little bit more speed. Right now, Jim Ott with that quick time with a flying lap, a 23.13. Barker through 3 and 4 for the final time here tonight. As Johnny Barker, does he get a piece of the wall there? Yes, he does. Lap number 2 not going to be any good for the number 6. So Barker will stay in P number 14. I think that will kind of do it for qualifying, as 2 cars not electing to take a time here. As 1 car, though, jumping way on up. We'll show this real quick. Matt Taylor in this number 8W machine will go to the outside of the front row with a 23.17. So great effort by Taylor. But right now we head to this guy, and it is the number 4 of Jim Ott. Ott walking away with the Leaf Guard Quick Time Award, and big congrats to that guy, as he will lead the field to the green flag and have a little bit of bragging rights and a little bit of prize money here after tonight before we even complete 1 lap. Awesome, Josh. I'm glad to hear you are doing well. And yeah, Thanksgiving coming on up this week, so hopefully things are kind of in motion. Got some plans planned on out. I know my plans, heading back to the east side of the state and see the rest of the family and spend some quality time with them. So that's the plans for myself, and hopefully you got some good ones as well coming up this weekend. Hopefully some time off of work as well. As once again, big congrats to the driver of the number 4 machine, Jim Ott, as we now get ready to head down trackside to walk through tonight's starting lineup. And here we go, drivers. It is time now for tonight's starting lineup. Starting on the pole, we see that Auto Owners number 4 machine. We saw him in the Leaf Guard Pole Award as well. It is the number 4 of Jim Ott. Also starting on the front row this time to the outside of the number 4 will be the W number 8, that being piloted by Matt Taylor. Then we head down to row number 2, and here we go, because we get some big names here. On the inside will be the 97, that is Jeff Pogo. Then in P number 4 will be the 21 Ford Mustang of Rob Lowell. Then rounding out the top 5, last week's winner at Daytona will start in a pretty decent spot considering 30 plus cars here tonight at Dover. It is the number 19 of Jacob Bowen. Then to Bowen's outside, rolling off P number 6 will be the 90 of Stephen Holmes. Then we head to P number 7, that being occupied by the Leaf Guard number 16, that is Steve Ritter. Rolling off P number 8 will be the 42 of Dustin Coggins. Then we head to P number 9, that is Victor Flugger in the 17 with Frank Ziggin in the 62, rounding out the top 10. Then in P number 11 will be Ronald Losi in the number 5 with Arthur Smith in the 33 in P number 12. 13th will be Kenny Reel in the 11th, 14th going to the 44 of John Ross. Then 15th will be the 6 car of Johnny Barker. 16th is Brandon Guerin in the 1. Chris Taylor in the 69 will roll off 17th. 18th going to Eric Holly in the 7. Then we have Nick Larson in the number Deuce machine. He will roll off 19th, and rounding out the top 20 will be the 46 of Eli Raposa. Then in 21st, we have Kyle Peacock in the 83. 22nd is Robert Denton in the 93. Matt Kost in the 63 will roll off 23rd. 24th will be Bryce Shoemaker in the 54. And then we head to the last page here tonight, as rolling off 25th will be Cameron Robertson in the 32. Ariba Canton in the 30 will be 26th. 27th is Justin Branham in the 58. Emilio Romano in this 15 will roll off 28th. Mike Babachak in the 55 will roll off 29th, and 30th will be the Riptide Radio number 9. Then we have 31st is Caleb Hatt. 32nd is Jason Wiley. 33rd is Dan Dill. And rounding out the field here tonight in spot number 34, starting shotgun on the field, will be the 28 of David Lomaga. So that will do it here tonight for the starting lineup as we get ready to go green flag race in action. The front row set, and these drivers ready to turn it on loose, as this time by we'll get the 1 to go signal from the flag man. And boys, we are in for a treat. It looks like one car not making the call to the green flag. That would be the 28. So we will have officially 33 cars taking the green flag here tonight. Yeah, that was a great job by Jim Ott there, as walking away with the Leaf Guard Pole Award. And Josh, this is a great mile track. You know, I always love Dover with the kind of tire conservation side of things, and it really is a driver's track. So it's going to be tough to pick a driver, but I mean, based on last season, it's hard to pick against the 44. He's coming back from deep in the field, but he can make some magic happen at these kind of intermediate style tracks. So I believe, last time by getting the 2 to green signal. So this time by, we should get the 1 to go and turn these guys loose next time by. As just, you know, an awesome sight to see all of these drivers out here. I mean, look at this field size. This is awesome to see. So hands down, pat your back to this admin team. Let's say, you know, these guys put in a lot of work and effort, and I tell you what, doing a great job. And I can't wait to see 160 laps here tonight around the Dover Motor Speedway. As here we go, folks. iRacing pace car will make its way down to pit road. Then the 4 of Jim Ott will lead the field to the green flag. So Ott down low, Taylor up top. Here we go. As Ott on the loud pedal, we are green flag racing here for race number 2. Side by side down into turn number 1 for the race lead, as Taylor will try and hold strong to the outside of Ott. Ott will get a great run there and clear Taylor for P number 1. Further on back, some side by side here as Stephen Holmes in the number 90 machine getting passed by Steve Ritter. Holmes able to find a hole as some cars very close to the wall. I believe that was Kyle Peacock. Yes, it was, in the 83 Burger King machine, getting a piece of that wall on turn number 1. One car out of sorts down the backstretch. That is Austin Smith losing a ton of spots there. So Smith got a little bit loose, I assume, with these cold tires, and luckily able to keep this car rolling. Loses, of course, a ton of spots now. Smith in P number 31 here. So as Ott continues to lead the way, everyone else, I believe, sorting on out what kind of pace these drivers want to run. As Victor Flugger here in the number 17 machine on a move of 2 spots from where he started. Peacock, the other one, on the move here, 4 laps in, already up 3 positions. So right now, especially in these first 10 or so laps, you really get a feel on kind of what is saving, what the strategy is for the drivers around you, and what kind of your game plan is. As we see Victor here trying to take another spot, that from Steve Ritter is, I believe, tough break here early for the 27 machine. We see him down on pit road with some significant left front damage, so does not bring out a yellow flag. We have been cleaning, well, I don't know about super clean, but green for the first 6 laps, as Had a tough break there here early. As up in front, about a 5-car breakaway with the top 5, all kind of running the same pace. Then we have Victor trying to chase him on down, and then Steve Ritter, I would say, is the first car really saving his stuff. His pace has been about a tenth or two off from the cars around him, but that is because I believe trying to keep these tires underneath him. I mean, this season these drivers have 100% fuel load, so definitely can one stop here tonight. If not, for sure two stop it. But the question is, can these tires be underneath these race cars by the time it is, it would be to fill up these race cars? That will be the question. As we see Pogo get back into P number 3. So 10 laps quickly in the books here tonight. These drivers still in the mid to high 23-second mark. So that is, of course, why these laps clicking on off here tonight. And at a mile track, Dover sees some very impressive speeds. I mean, through the corner, these drivers dropping down to only about 143 miles an hour as we ride on board with the 97. And then down the straightaways, 170 on a mile racetrack is very, very wild to even try and comprehend. And these drivers doing that on race pace. So Pogo to the inside of Taylor. This is currently the battle for the number 2 spot, as Ott right in front of them, as it looks like they will put 1 car lap down. I believe that is Caleb Hatt getting back out onto the speedway. So Pogo will take over that spot. Now sets his sights on the race leader here. Pogo last time by about a 1/10 of a second better than our race leader. He has closed on up now right to the back bumper. As overall, most of the field spread on out. A little bit of a battle back in P27 with the 54 and the 15 machine. So, as now it looks like Ott turning back up the jets just a little bit, has about extended that gap to about a car length separating first and second. We take a look at a battle a little bit further in the back, as one car big time into the wall, one very slow on the front straightaway. That's the 53 machine of Matt Cost. Cost now will bring it pit side, and that will cost him a ton of time, but still no yellow flag for that one as we stay green flag. So first 10th of the way done here tonight. So far, all under the green flag conditions. As for the race lead here, Pogo very close to the race leader there, diving down into turn number 3. Pogo was hoping for maybe a nose width, not quite there that time by his Pogo right on the back bumper. Here we go. This is an intense battle here for the lead, as Pogo now to the inside of Ott. These two will dive down side by side through 3 and 4. Ott with a little bit of an advantage. What kind of exit can these two get? Pogo gets very, very loose. He will somehow keep it off the walls. Man, heck of a save by the driver of this number 97 machine, but wow. That showed you how tough this is. Just a little bit more wheel in that 97 machine, a little bit less bank and being a little bit lower. And you saw that car just jump out right underneath him on exit. Now with Pogo a little bit further back, Matt Taylor has caught the back bumper of Jim Ott and brought along Bowen and Powell. As we look a little bit deeper in the pack here, Brandon Guerin has been catching the two of Nick Larson here. And they will once again go around Caleb Hatt there. So Hatt still at least back out on track, trying to maybe hope for a big one, let's say, and taking out quite a bit of cars. But so far, still all green flag here, as here comes Jacob Bowen to the inside of Taylor. Taylor will get a piece of the wall there off of turn number 4. We'll see if that has any impact on this car later in this run, but right now Taylor holding strong on the top side. Last week's winner at Daytona, this 19 of Jacob Bowen, trying to maybe go 2 for 2 right now. He is currently on a podium spot, and when talking with him, he would love to have that each and every week, because he was already talking about consistency after week number 1. As we see there, a little bit of a gentlemanly move, as probably Bowen couldn't get around the 8 of Taylor's, so he's like, all right, Rob, I'll let you through. You can try and get some work done with him. As that time, Rob gets big time loose. Same with Bowen. Bowen around, facing the wrong way here, as we will get our first yellow here, as last week's winner goes around on the front stretch. I have to see the replay. I didn't quite catch it to see if he got some help, but definitely out of shape on the front stretch. But we got to figure out what was the root cause of the 19 facing the wrong direction. As we see there, Bowen big time sideways off of turn number 4, and I think tries to shoot back up on the track, and maybe that it does something weird. We'll take a look here as Bowen goes back up the top side, and yeah, kind of gets almost a tank slapper there, gets it against the wall, then slaps the right rear quarter panel just right, and that flips the 19 around. So wow, all kind of by himself here, as we'll take a look one more time at a different view at full speed here. But I mean, happens very quick, and especially with the limited side force in these race cars. Yeah, Bowen just got the left rear just a little bit too loaded up, turning right, and that thing shot on around the old whip weight. Even though it was slight, it was enough to catch the 19 there. As we see Bowen down on pit road, probably getting some repairs from that car. Probably a little bit too early to use a fast repair, but first 25 laps, all green flag here tonight, as we see a little bit of split strategy. Jim Ott down on pit road, but Matt Taylor gonna stay on out. As, oh no, Jim Ott caught speeding on pit road. He will go to the end of the line. So the first driver on new tires will be this 97 machine of Jeff Pogo. I believe Pogo at the moment will restart in the number 15th position, so he will be the driver we got to keep an eye on lap time, see how much quicker Pogo is. As all season long, these drivers will have 3 sets of tires over the wall at any track, so those that pitted still have 2 more, still a lot of racing, but at a place like Dover, do you keep in the back of your mind you're trying to save 1 set at the end if it comes to that? As under this first yellow flag here, biggest movers with maybe some cars pitting, but even with that, these guys were heading in the right direction. First one being this 58 Kellogg's machine of Justin Branaham. He is up a whopping 19 positions from where he started, so big, nice job to the 58. Same with this 13, Jason Wiley. Started deep in the field here tonight. He is up currently 20 spots in this 13, so we'll see if these guys can hold on to those, because it's about to get wild. Half the field staying on out on 25 lap old tires. The rest of the field on brand new tires. Here we go. Front row, Matt Taylor leading the field to green. To his inside, the 21 of Rob Lowell. So here we go, iRacing pace car down on pit road. As Matt Taylor on the loud pedal gets away with a great start, as Taylor and John Ross will get clear. Rob able to slide into P number 3. Further on back, everyone very quickly single filing on out, except for back here with the newer tires. These guys in a big gaggle of cars here. So top 10 or so, pretty spread out, all single file. This is the first real side-by-side action. As Pogo making quick work of the drivers around him. He is now trying to get into the top 10, as that he'll do off at turn number 4. As Wiley got maybe a little bit of arrow loose from Pogo, he had to chase that race car, and that stacked up the whole top side there. As pretty much from Jason Wiley, and then all the cars on the top side on old tires, as old man one car into the wall. We will stay green as Brandon Guerin gets caught up in it, none of his own doing, and we somehow stay green. As yeah, the 15 involved there. As that will probably calm it down just a little bit here at the moment. Yeah, it looked like maybe the 15 just got a little bit loose off at turn number 4, got it in the wall, and then once that happens, especially at a fast track like this, it is so hard to react and kind of change lanes in time before the closing rate ends up smashing you right into his back bumper. As out in front, Matt Taylor continues to lead the way. Over it now, the 21 machine. As Jeff Pogo has already climbed up to P number 7 in this number 97 machine. So Pogo by far the best driver on tires, now going for P number 6 over Nick Larson, and able to do that pretty easily there in one corner. So Pogo, a man on a mission. Last time by was about a tenth quicker than our race leaders, who are now in a side-by-side battle. The number 21 machine down low, the 8 up top. These guys 2x2 here off of turn number 4. Taylor a little bit loose. Off of turn number 2, as this time off of turn number 4. They will continue to be side by side, and this will close up everyone else, as now the 21 will get clear, as now John Ross looks to the inside of Taylor. So Ross down low, Taylor once again up top, and here comes the man on fresh tires, Jeff Pogo, as looking to crack into the top 3, and probably not before long, to the race lead as Pogo. Is he going to force the issue? Yes, he will. Pogo will dive it in there deep, and the top 2 having to slide way on up on the racetrack. Pogo will get clear. Taylor will hold on to P number 3. Man, oh man, Pogo wasting no time there. Definitely showed by that 3 wide off of turn number 1, as we get a yellow flag here for the second time here tonight. And it looks like the 93 machine of Robert Denton getting that car back up to speed here, but we're gonna take a look here, try and see what happened to bring out our second yellow flag of the night. Dent and Jim Odden, oh man, there you saw it, folks, a ton of neck coders. Man, Dent does a great job at avoiding those walls, and oh man, 33 Austin Smith a little bit later, getting a little piece of the wall there off of turn number 4. As we'll see here, kind of in the middle of 1 and 2, just the amount of neck code. About a half a car width to clip that 93 on around, but a heck of a save by Denton there. As Jeff Pogo, and look at this, Matt Taylor staying on out. Same with Victor Flugger. As both these guys have not pitted. Pogo, of course, pitting last time. He will take over the race lead, but now the 21 of Rob Lowell and pretty much the other half of the field that didn't pit on 25 down on pit road this time. Lowell, Ross, Barker, Larson, and Losi. Top 5 coming off of pit road there. But now Jeff Pogo out in front. With fresh tires, it's going to be hard to keep pace with this 97. But a quarter of the way done here. Still a lot of racing left to be had. As this time by, we get the 2 to go, and I say let's take a look at tonight's race information being presented by BG Graphix. BG Graphix, of course, jumping on board with a big-time partnership with the 802 Next Gen Cup Series, so appreciate that. As we're looking at a fairly warm Delaware Downs here at Dover at 85 degrees. Of course, Dover a mile in length, and you can see very symmetrical, a pretty high banking, as of course quite a bit of wind, 18 miles an hour. So these drivers definitely going to feel a little bit of that wind. Maybe that's what they're feeling off of turn number 4. And of course, if you want to find out more information about the league, be sure to look them up on Facebook with 802 iRacing. So second caution of the night here coming out at lap 40. This time by the leader can choose which lane he wants to restart in. Last week, the league tried the whole field choosing, and without a live race admin, you know, some funky stuff could happen towards the back, especially in the lap down positions and trying to get those lucky dogs too. So to keep it as fair for everyone, they decided to just go back to the tried and true leader gets choice of lane. Everyone lines on up where iRacing tells you. So lights are out around the Delaware Motor Speedway. That means we are going to go green. This time by Jeff Pogo down low, Matt Taylor up top. Pogo, of course, on semi-fresh tires, about 15 coming up to 20 laps old. Matt Taylor has yet to pit here tonight. As through 3 and 4 the field will come. Pogo sets the pace and we'll get ready to fire on off. Pogo away with a great restart. Matt Taylor, big time tire spin. Everyone checking on up. And Taylor will keep that car glued to the wall. And heck of a job by Taylor and the rest of the field to not have a big one there, because that is how it happens here at Dover. These old tires will get some wheel spin and then no time to react for everyone else, and it just becomes a big pile up as the pack will slide down the banking. But great job by everyone. As out in front, Jeff Pogo leads away. Steve Ritter now up into P number 2. Jacob Bowen from the cause of caution number 1 now back into the top 3. Then we have Victor Flugger in P number 4, rounding out the top 5 at the moment. The Burger King number 83 of Kyle Peacock. As we can see there, all of these drivers a little bit out of shape off the turn number 4. Definitely the trickiest part of this Dover Speedway, because that banking, I don't know, you could definitely feel it in the car, but it just feels like that banking goes away a little bit sooner than off of turn number 4, and that can have a little bit of an issue as one car going around on the front stretch. That is the number 33, as, oh man, some more drivers involved here, and this will be the first multi-car incident of the night here on lap 49. So yeah, I believe starting with the 33, he was already out of sorts then. Oh man, Den comes in there, a big hit to the 93. Then Jason Wiley will try and sneak on through, and he will tag the inside wall. Same with the 55. And oh man, Matt Taylor running so well before. He will have to use a fast repair here as he gets a piece of it there very late. As that, you see it there, contact between the 33 and the 55, kicking it on off. And then everyone else just trying to get to evasive actions here, as O'Garen getting a late piece of it as well. but our first multi-car incident there, and quite a bit of cars down on pit road. Koss already out here tonight, Hat still out here, Shoemaker. So a lot of repairs to be done, but still only one retirement in the first 50 laps. Alrighty, folks, at this time, I'm going to take a break from talking and turn it over to our friends. You see their logo on the bottom right. That is Premier Setup Shots, partnering with Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll show you what they have to offer. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. We are back here at Dover under our third caution of the night. Mike Babinchak and Austin Smith ending up with the most damage out of those two, but don't forget, if your favorite driver does get involved in a yellow, their night not completely done at that point, because there is one fast repair for these drivers to take at any time if needed. I mean, the ultimate night, not even having to take any fast repairs, keeping that car 100% throughout the entirety of the race. But you know, things do happen, and those drivers do have that in their back pocket. As that time by, we see the lights go out on the pace car. That means one thing: turning these guys back loose here next time by. Jeff Pogo, last run, ran the best time of the night, a 23.19. So Pogo says, I'm not saving any tire. I want as much of a lead as I can get. So Pogo elects the inside lane. That will move Steve Ritter up to the top side here. So that leaf guard number 16 will start outside front row. As it looks like when we do take this green flag, 24 cars currently on the lead lap. And the iRacing pace car off the racing surface. Jeff Pogo will wait till the Geico restart zone, and he will jump on the loud pedal. Here we go as we go back. Racing here, Pogo away with a great start, side by side for a second there into turn number one, as Kyle Peacock tried to get something going, couldn't quite make it stick with the slap into P number 4. Further on back, though, side by side, as the 21 trying to use the newest tires, but a quick yellow here for yellow number 4. It looks like maybe the 15 once again involved. We're gonna try and see what happened down the backstretch here. As old man 93 already out of sorts. 15 definitely just an innocent bystander. We're gonna go slow it on down and see what happened to the 93 of Robert Denton off of turn number 2. So Denton up top here in the 93, that white, orange, and yellow machine. And oh man, Denton just gets some help from Jason Wiley there. Wiley just taps the back bumper of the 93. I think the 93 had to check up just a little bit, but that was enough for the 13 get in the back of the 93 and then send him around. Luckily, the rest of the team cars of the 15 able to get clear, but a pretty good hit to the back bumper for Emilio there. As with this being a quick yellow after the last one, no drivers, except for maybe drivers getting some repairs done down on pit road. Looks like the only one there, the 17, or I believe the 80 on the car. As you know, we'll talk about our race leader a little bit. So, Jeff Pogo, out of the state of Missouri here, part of Gateway Motorsports. On the car, he of course has that Schwartz Beach RC and Dialed RC on the car. Those all supporting the 97. He is a two-time USRA Xfinity champion and a one-time USRA Cup Series champion. He's the 2024 IAA Truck Series champion and a 12 Hours of Bathurst champion. So a lot of accolades to this 97 machine. And maybe hoping for some more by the end of this season with the 802 Riptide Radio Next Gen Cup Series. Of course, Pogo's favorite type of racing, over racing, out of real life drivers, his favorite, Young Money, Kyle Larson. One of his favorite real life track and car combos. You don't hear this too often out of the cup scene, but can produce some incredible racing. That is the V8 supercars at Mount Panorama. It doesn't get much better than that. Most memorable iRacing moment for Pogo was in fact winning that 12 Hours of Bathurst with his team. Goals for the season for the 97 crew is to go fast and win some stuff. Right now, it's in a pretty good spot as we approach the halfway mark here for Miles the Monster 160 here tonight at Dover. So a little bit of insight from some of the drivers here tonight. As Pogo again will choose the inside lane, that will move Steve Ritter up into the top side. So here we go. Lights are out around the speedway. We'll try and fire them on off and get a little bit further than we did last time. Last time only about a half a track here before Calamity. This time hoping to make it a little bit further, as that was only our second yellow. That was a multi-car incident. As here we go, Pogo away with another good start. First side-by-side, Kyle Peacock will get clear of Jacob Bowen. He will slam the door shut down into turn number 1. Dustin Coggins trying to hold strong up top of Jim Ott. Coggins will have the advantage down into turn number 1. as Coggins clear of Branningham. Now Ott will get clear of Branningham. Here comes Rob Lowell in the 21 machine. So Branningham gonna try and stop the bleed, and looks like he will slide in front of Johnny Barker there. As one car around, that is the 5 of Ron Losey. Losey in the number 5 machine will get that car facing the right direction, but definitely some contact on the front stretch. We'll go to the turn 3 replay here and try and figure out who else was involved, as we see Losey and it looks like, I believe, Dan Dill. As, oh man, that's hard to see. We're going to try and see one more time there as these two head down the front stretch. And very tough to put a blame on one driver because they were definitely very close. Dill moved away from the wall a little bit. Looks like Losey moved up just a little, and those two getting together, and that's enough to set out the yellow flag here. So after the first 40 laps only seeing 2 yellow flags, now the last 20 we'll see 3 pretty quick ones. So we'll have to see when these drivers will get strung out a little bit, because I think once that happens, then we'll see if tires coming through the field, how much better are the tires in the likes of the 21 versus the 97, as they're about a 15 lap difference between the two of them, but still a long way yet to go. As of course you heard me rattle off some of the sponsors, let's say, here tonight. To make this happen. And of course we got to give a shout out to all of them, as you can see them on your screen, especially that big one in the middle. If you scan that QR code, you can yourself get the Riptide Radio app and tune into some of the best, and to find out a little bit more. Riptide Radio, the sounds of the salt, sand, and sea, from Ocean Drive in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It is, of course, Riptide Radio. Like I said, if you want to get yourself the app and tune into some of the best, you can scan right there on the screen. Of course, we got to thank Leaf Guard of Vermont coming on board with the Pole Award, giving out some prize money tonight going to the 4 of Jim Ott. And then, of course, we got to give a huge shout out to BG Graphix, once again coming on board and helping out with the prize money for these drivers to race for. Also got to give a shout out to Out of the Wood Crafts, GStone Motors, DTL Customs, Riptide Radio, and everyone else, that including the admins and all the drivers that put on the great racing action that we get to enjoy for at least 20 more Sundays to come. As here we go once again, folks. Lights are out, and I think this time I'm going to try and set the world right and have us have a little bit of a green flag run. I'm going to go let the cars do the talking here and do a little turn 3, turn it up right for our restart here. So here we go. I'll be back in a second, but we'll let the sounds of the race cars fires off here for restart number 5. That seems to have done the trick. These drivers racing very well here on this restart. As Jeff Pogo continues to lead the way, side-by-side battle for P number 3 as Jacob Bowen down low. Kyle Peacock to his outside. As Peacock will take over P number 3 here, Bowen will slot into P number 4 as they will get single filed out. And once again, last time by, Jeff Pogo, best lap of anyone tonight, a 23.13. So Pogo absolutely on rails here. Further on back, Ron Losi will get around the 7 of Eric Holly. That was for P number 20, so the 5 car back into the top 20 here. And at the moment, Dan Dill is currently the lucky dog if we do get, in fact, another yellow flag here. As long as he's not involved in the yellow. If you're involved in the yellow, here on iRacing, you do not get a shot at the lucky dog, so that prevents the guy from, pulling a Carson Hocevar in the Truck Series and creating a yellow himself. As up front, about coming up to a 1 second gap between first and second. Further on back here, Kenny Reel under pressure from Jim Ott. Reel up top here. This could leave the door open for quite a few cars there. As Reel able to find a gap though in front of the GStone 21 machine, so Reel only losing 1 spot at the moment. So as they run low in this 21 machine, best tires in P number 6 have run in front of him last pitted on lap 26. He's also bringing along the 6 of Johnny Barker, but here we go. We'll slow the field for the 6th time here tonight and try and figure out where this yellow flag came on out. It looks like once again we have a slow moving number 15 machine. We're going to try and see what happened here. Looks like off of turn number 4. Looking once again at the 15 of Romero. It looks like Romero gets big time sideways there. It has to catch it a second time as that car almost snapped to the outside wall, but looks like we'll go on a big slide down the front stretch. Once again, a single car incident. Looks like we'll not pick up too much damage, maybe a little bit to that left front of that nose piece. This time by Pogo will lead a very busy pit road here. And this, I assume, could be everyone's last stop of the night. If I'm seeing this many cars down on pit road, it usually means that they can make it to the end on fuel. We'll keep an eye at the end of pit road, see who will win the race off of pit road here, as looks like about 5 cars staying on out. As it looks like Pogo will win the race off of pit road. Peacock second, then Ritter, Ott, and Lowell rounding out the top 5 off of pit road. So a little bit of shout outs to some of the drivers we're seeing in the chat here. Looks like we got fan of the 83 of Kyle Peacock. Also right. Looks like another cheering on the 42 Rogue Energy Machine. That is, of course, Dustin Coggin. Yeah, if you're cheering on a driver, you haven't let me know who you're cheering on, be sure to do that. That way we can get your driver on screen for a little bit of time, as now we get even closer to the cross flags here. I believe we'll get it on our first official complete green lap here after this restart. I believe this time by should be the one to go, and Jacob Bowen, last week's winner, will stay out on track, and he will lead the field back to the green flag. Matt Taylor, we saw get in an incident there. I believe the third yellow here tonight. He has rebounded once again. He sits in that second position. As yes, one to go here at the stripe. Next time by, we will turn these drivers loose once again. Top 5, Bowen, Taylor, Flugger, Burposa, and Holly. Then everyone from Holly on back. Sorry, Jeff Pogo on back. They are on 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Appreciate all the cheers coming in for your favorite drivers. We're definitely going to have to show quite a bit of drivers here during this green flag run. So awesome job to everyone, as here we go. Coming back to the green flag, Bowen, Taylor, front row. Jacob Bowen early on the loud pedal. Here we go back. Green flag racing as Kyle Peacock looking, will not have Jim Ott make a move, as Ott was looking to the inside of Peacock there into turn number 1. So Peacock and Lowell, a little bit of an old tire roadblock right in front of him, as once again a quick yellow here on a restart, as we'll slow up the field. And looks like further on back, it looks like maybe Losi. Yeah, Losi, some heavy damage to that number 5 machine, as it looks like that will be the end of the night for the Sim Motion number 5. As we look back to the 69 car, maybe the start of this 7th yellow here, we'll take a look. As Taylor here up top. As, oh man, somebody already wrecking in front of him. That is Justin Branaham. So Branaham facing the wrong direction right in front, and the 69 of Chris Taylor, a couple big impacts as you see him smack the outside wall there after getting a huge piece of the 58. We're going to see what happened to the 58 of Branaham here going into turn number 3. And oh, it looks like Frank maybe a little bit of net code, then some contact, and some big impacts for these drivers. And everyone further on back having to make evasive maneuvers. Looks like we'll get on clear, but man, some big shots for a lot of these drivers. As we ride on board with Chris Taylor, see what he saw at 58, smack that outside wall, come shooting back across the track, and yeah, absolutely zero time for Taylor to even try and think about avoiding that 58. Looks like Low C Branaham down on pit road for extended repairs. Same with the 13 of Wiley. So I think a few more race cars will meet the end of their mileage here tonight. As we have now passed the cross flag, so we are over halfway done with the race. As we take a look here at some of the other drivers mentioned, this driver, Jim Ott, walking away with some prizes before the green flag even fell, as Ott was tonight's Leaf Guard Pole Award recipient. Currently runs in the 10th position, but he's back there with taking those fresh tires there under the last yellow flag. Then Bryce Shoemaker. Shoemaker having a long night here. He is currently the first car one lap down, hoping to rebound, as Shoemaker looking to get back on the lead lap, as there's only 21 cars left there. So if he can do that, he can start clawing his way back on up. Then we head over to Kyle Peacock, one of the drivers towards the front on those new tires. So Peacock, third best car in this group that pitted last on 75. The other drivers being Jeff Pogo and Steve Ritter, who will start 2 rows in front of the 87. Sorry, 83. Of course, mentioned again, Dustin Coggins, currently trying to get back into the top 10, currently P number 13, but having some of that fresh rubber bolted on to that 42. As here we go, Bowen once again leading the field to green. To his outside is the number 80 on the car, 17 in the time and scoring. That is Victor Flugger. As here we go back to green flag racing action. Bowen gets away with a great start. Taylor gonna look to the inside of that number 80 machine. They'll go side by side through turns 1 and 2 and head towards the backstretch. Flugger should get a little bit of a run, but it's going to be door number to door number, as Taylor will send it in there deep and clear the number 80. So now Steve Ritter on those fresh tires up into P number 4. What more does the Leaf Guard machine have? Because right behind him, we've seen a very fast Jeff Pogo here tonight, and he's looking to get back to the race lead here. As once again, under the yellow flag, it looks like, yeah, we got the 62 machine facing the wrong direction here. So we're going to try and see what happened to the out of the woods craft number 62 to bring out caution number 8 here tonight. As old man heading to turn number 3 down the backstretch, the 62 and the 7 getting together there. We're going to take a look here, maybe slow it on down a little bit, see if one driver moved a little bit more than another. But oh man, and similar to an incident we saw earlier tonight, just maybe a little bit too close for the inside driver, as the outside driver tries to move away from the wall just a little bit and just makes contact to that right rear quarter panel. And once again, bringing out a yellow flag here. As we go under the caution flag for the 8th time tonight, we're going to once again go over to commercial break. We'll be right back here with coverage at Dover. We come back here at Dover with about a lap and a half till the green flag. So race started off with a long green flag run, has since had a flurry of yellows. So this could change a lot in the game plan department for a lot of these drivers. As we approach here, 70 laps to go left. Once again, it's going to be a Bowen and Taylor front row on the restart. Jacob Bowen this time by will get the choose, and I assume we'll choose the inside lane. Bowen, though, having about 60 laps on those tires, definitely going to have to account for a little bit of wheel spin. Then Matt Taylor to his outside last pitted on lap 50, so he will have about 40 lap old tires. So even Taylor gonna have to manage that tire spin a little bit. We saw Taylor kind of wiggle it into the wall already on one restart, so I'm sure he learned his lesson, but something he definitely has to keep in the back of his mind as we once again get ready for another restart here tonight. As top 5 here, Bowen, Taylor, Flugger, Ritter, and Pogo. As here we go, Jacob Taylor in control of the restart here. Last time and this time firing off early in the restart zone, as they'll be 2 by 2 behind Bowen. as Taylor will find an opening right on the nose of Steve Ritter here. Maybe not, as Ritter able to get a nose down low on Taylor, but doesn't quite have the run by the time they dive it back down into turn number 3. So top 4 single filed on out. Then Pogo able to get in front of Lowell, as Lowell gets a piece of the wall there off of turn number 4. Once again, slowing down here, and it looks like the driver of the number 32 another driver of that high voltage motorsports. We're going to try and see what happened to Robertson here on the front stretch, as Robertson right there to the inside of Raposa off of turn number 4. As Robertson just once again turn 4 down low, biting another driver. Tried to keep it down low and start walking back up to the track. Nice evasive maneuvering by the 55 there. Looks like Shoemaker checking up way early, making sure he doesn't get a piece of the 32, as I assume he'll slide to a stop on the low side here. As we'll get a little piece of the wall there at the very end, but once again, a single car incident here. So that time by, we see the top 3 down on pit road making, I assume, their final stop, hopefully. As if they pit again, it's definitely just 4 tires, but looks like they will come back out on track about 19th, 20th, and 21st. As with this yellow, it looks like Shoemaker back on the lead lap here tonight. So that now moves it to 23 cars on the lead lap here as we approach the 60 lap to go mark, as we have currently done 93 of the scheduled distance of 160 miles for the Miles the Monster 160 at Dover. As with the top 3 pitting, that will move the race lead now to the 16 of Steve Ritter. Ritter, of course, picking up quite a few wins last season, and this season hopefully trying to continue that. Right now, sitting in a pretty good spot in the second half of this race now. But he's got to fend off a very fast Jeff Pogo. Pogo will start whatever lane Ritter decides not to choose here on the start-finish line. As here we go, Steve Ritter will choose the inside lane. That'll move Jeff Pogo leading the outside lane on the restart. Then we have teammates in row number 2, Lowell and Barker, and Kyle Peacock. Jim Ott will round out the top 5 here on restart number 9. Here we go. Ritter in control of the restart now, can fire on off anytime. As Ritter will go right in the middle and go back to green flag racing action as Rob with a great restart on that inside lane. He's able to get clear of Pogo even. So front two single filed out. Now Pogo under fire from Jim Ott down the backstretch. Side by side battle for third, no more, as Pogo able to hang on to that spot. Then we have Kyle Peacock trying to go around the 6 of Barker. Peacock will slam it down on the low side, able to get clear. Now sets his sights on the number 4 and P number 4. That, of course, Jim Ott. Further on back, Matt Taylor trying to get back through the field here. Taylor, of course, started towards the front of the race, has kind of got mired back with cautions and pit cycle as Taylor big time sideways into turn number 1. Somehow saves that race car, but will lose, I believe, 1 spot. I believe that spot to Victor Pfluger. So Matt Taylor's still in a hornet's nest here, trying to get, I believe, around now the number 9 machine of Jeff Barefoot. Barefoot currently running up a positive 12 positions from where he started. So Barefoot just trying to click off these laps, keep that car clean and green so far, doing a great job at that. As now we have Robertson trying to go on around here. Robertson currently multiple laps down as Raposa now the battle for position for the number 9. As contact for second here, Rob Lowell will get sent way up the racetrack there. Him making contact with Pogo. You can see the damage to the right front of Pogo, but man, oh man, what happened there? But we will fall to a yellow flag here once again. I believe a different incident. Looks like maybe the 62. He's already down on pit road. We're going to try and see what happened there. As Zingen, oh man, maybe tried to go low, I believe, on Dill, but Bowen was like, I already have a run here trying to get on around it. Oh, big time hits for Shoemaker, and I believe Raposa as well, maybe? Someone else came in, maybe the 30, yeah, the 30 of Caton. Caton involved there late, and he will have some big time damage to the number 30 machine, so contact between the 62 and the 19, bringing out our 10th yellow flag. And once again, some different strategies as Steve Ritter, Rob Lowell, Nick Larson, Dan Dill, all down on pit road this time. So out on track, that will leave the top 5 as Pogo, Ott, Peacock, Barker, and now Reel. As with our 10th yellow here, I'm going to go get a drink of water, and we'll be right back here after a few words from iRacing.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we are back here at Dover, and it looks like we have the 1 to go signal from the boss man up in the flag stand, so we will be going green next time by, as Pogo once again out in front elects the inside lane here. Jim Ott restarting on the front row of the outside. Familiar with the front row here tonight, he led the field to the green flag to start tonight's race. Hoping to finish strong here in now 55 laps to go. Going to be less than that as we get ready to go back to green flag here. Pogo making up the front row. Pogo once again, another good restart by the 97, able to get clear by himself. Can I clear Peacock? No, he can't. Side-by-side racing for P number 2 as Peacock will fly on by down on the low side. Now, maybe under fire. No way, as Barker and Reel duke it out for P number 4. Oh, man. Another yellow here, and this time looks like the 16 machine trying to get that thing rolling, and very tough to do. It shows you how much banking is here at Dover, as we'll see what happened to Ritter as he enters turn 3 wide there and just running out of room. Looks like just tapped off of Jeff Barefoot, and maybe with that, try to maybe move that car down low a little bit too early, and Raposa having the nose to the inside, just turning that 16 machine. We're going to take a look here, slowed on down. As you can see there, Ritter enters very close to Barefoot, and then it comes on down, and Raposa just sits in there minding his own business, and looks like more Ritter moved on down. Looks like the 21 just sneaking through. Does make a little bit of contact with the wall, but Ritter gets very, very lucky that this is the only contact to another car that 16 sees in this incident. as under the 11th yellow here tonight. As currently now only 21 cars on the lead lap here. I believe we still have, I want to say 26 cars, make that maybe 27 still out on the raceway here. So of the 33 that took the green flag, only losing about 6 or so cars by the end of it. So a long season ahead for these drivers of the Riptide Radio 802 Next Gen Cup Series. And up on the screen will be the schedule there. And you can see some of the races here. Of course, us tonight, of course, we are at race number 2 here at Dover. And then next week, these drivers try and take on North Wilkesboro, and all the way to 21 races to crown a champion at Phoenix. Of course, every race matters. That is because season-long points, no playoffs, none of that. It is going to be all about consistency, and we'll see that start to take shape, for sure by race 5, but a long way to go because these drivers do have 2 drop weeks. So either your 2 worst weeks, if you got to miss 2 weeks for other reasons, you still have a shot at a championship. When we go back green, we will have 50 laps left, 50 miles to go to see who will walk away with the second checkered flag of the season. After week number 1, Jacob Bowen leading the points coming in here. Bowen currently sits in P number 7. 4th car on that inside row, but the front row, Pogo, Peacock, here we go. The field will fire on off down the front stretch, and pretty even restart for the front too as Jim Ott gets a great start. Ott will try and get into P number 2, but Peacock says not so fast. He's going to try and keep that thing wound up on the top side. They go door number to door number into turn number 3. Ott has the shorter distance. Can Peacock get the run? He will look to the high side. Ott will slam the door. So Pogo, Ott, Peacock, currently the top 3. Then the next 3 single filed out, Real Barker and Bowen. Then we got our first side-by-side battles as Chris Taylor under fire. As Taylor and Ross both get a piece of the wall off of turn number 4. Once again, it looks like Taylor into the wall, just getting a piece of it. You can do that a couple times with these cup cars. They're at least a little bit durable on iRacing, but definitely can't do it for multiple laps and not expect to see the time falling on off just a little bit. As one car sideways, that is Brandon Guerin. They will keep it straight, but further on back, looks like the GStone 21 machine with some pretty good damage on the nose of that race car. So we will try and figure out what happened there. As not the best camera angle there, as you saw the smoke off at turn number 4 between Guerin and someone else. And then further on back, looks like contact between Barefoot and Lowell. And that will send the 21 machine facing the wrong direction there down the backstretch. So Pogo now not down pit road, that time but still a handful of drivers coming on down. They're just trying to time these yellows right and try and slap on a set of tires at the right time to hopefully drive through quite a bit of positions. But Pogo's in a tough spot from here on out because he's probably going to stay out on track for the rest of the race. Because it really comes down to Jim Ott and his decision. If Ott decides to come down pit road, he could bring a lot of cars down because the likes of Peacock, Real could see him and say, yeah, let's get this leader to stay on out on old tires. We'll all go around him. Or I could be the one out, just like if Pogo decides to come down pit road and everyone else stays out. So a lot of decision making for these drivers at the closing stages, especially with these yellows we've been having here recently. If these yellows keep on up, it's definitely about track position. You do not want to come down pit road. But if we get a 20, 30 lap run, it's anyone's game at that point. As under the yellow felt for the 12th time here tonight. This now ties us with the amount of yellows we had at Daytona. So we'll see if we can break that record this season here early. As you know, there's definitely going to be growing pains in a series, especially with the car count that it is. 30 plus cars showing on up, especially at a 1 mile track. Things can get hectic very quickly. And also with that kind of a lot of new drivers. I believe at Daytona we had 27 rookies here racing around each other and the rest of the guys from last season for the first time, let's say, for quite a bit of them. So everyone's going to take a little bit of time to get molded, get everything right, but I have a feeling, once we get to a stretch, let's say, Pocono, Chicagoland, Watkins Glen, that's a road course, that's a different story, but then Charlotte, I assume by that point, everything very ironed out, and like last season, almost a rarity to get more than 3 yellows. As front row once again will be Jeff Pogo. He will select the inside lane, and then that moves Jim Ott in the number 4, leading the outside row on the 12th restart here tonight. Here we go once again. As Pogo fires on off, no tire spin yet, so these guys all pitted on lap 75. So far, so good for these guys. As once again, whoever restarts in that 3rd position will claim 2nd spot this time. Kyle Peacock in the right spot. Can he chase down Jeff Pogo? This time by at the stripe, we will see 40 laps to go. A couple cars a little slow and down low, I believe. That was the 69 machine, but further up front, Jacob Bowen to the inside of Jim Ott. As right behind them, this guy on the best tires compared to the cars around him. That is Matt Taylor. Sorry, actually, Jacob Bowen. Bowen last pitted on 92. Most of the cars around him pitted on 75. So quite a bit of strategy mixing its way through the field. Best tires on any race car here. Last pitted on 117. That is the the 6 of Johnny Barker. So Barker going to try and charge through the field here late. He is a driver that needs this to go green as long as possible. Let's jump on board with Barker and try and get a sense of the speed around this Dover International Raceway. And you can hear it there, folks. Very little off throttle time from on entry there. You drive down in this banking and then you pick up the throttle very, very early, but you wait till after that last bump right there before going full throttle, because we've seen it many times here tonight. Drivers just jumping on that throttle a little bit too early and that car going around in a hurry. Up in front, battle for the race lead as you see it around the top side. Kyle Peacock. Peacock absolutely flying out here late in this race. Currently going to try and set sail here over Pogo. As we saw Pogo's pace be some of the best, but those two definitely trying to run away from this guy. Jacob Bowen last time by at the stripe, about a 10th quicker than Jeff Pogo right in front of him. So these guys racing very, very hard, and definitely the right time to do so. Closing in to 30 to go. Everyone else pretty spread on out. Pass being made as the 42 will get around the 46. That is a position for Pete, number 12 here. Chris Taylor applying the pressure to the 21 machine. As here we go, Jacob Bowen to the outside of Jeff Pogo. That is a battle for second as Bowen able to keep the momentum. Jacob Bowen up into second, has his sights on the leader. We ride on board with our leader. This is Kyle Peacock under fire now from Jacob Bowen. Bowen not quite able to get the run off of the corner. Peacock able to get clear. And if Bowen and Peacock both make a mistake, right there Jeff Pogo sits to the inside of Bowen. Has a little bit more contact to the outside wall. These boys are racing hard up in front. So Peacock, Pogo, Bowen, and Pfluger all kind of checked on out. Here comes Matt Taylor. He is trying to join the party as well. So Bowen, Pfluger, and Taylor all on the best tires out of this top 5. Then Nick Larson, the best tires out of the top 7, as Larson last pitted 102, so about 30 lap old tires compared to the 40 to almost 60 lap old tires now for their leader. So battle for the race lead here as Pogo has found some more speed in that 97 machine to the inside of Peacock. Peacock will get a big piece of the wall. Pogo will get big time loose. And now the advantage goes back to Peacock as they dive down into turn number 1. Still side by side off of turn number 2 for the race lead. Oh, that time Peacock even more of a hit to the outside wall. Peacock has to be careful. Can't afford to hit that wall too much harder. Can start damaging a lot of suspension components very quickly, as that time now Jacob Bowen gets a piece of it. So you can see these drivers already pushing very, very hard and pushing these cars to the limit, and we still have 24 laps to go. So now Taylor to the outside of Bowen. Here comes Kenny Reel, Nick Larson. This pack is forming back up, and Jeff Pogo out in front trying to check on out. Pogo currently has a half a second advantage over now Matt Taylor. Taylor with kind of a slide job there through 1 and 2. He's able to slide across the nose of Peacock and take over P number 2. Can Taylor reel in Pogo? Then further on back, almost a little bit of roadblock of Jacob Bowen. Bowen's doing everything he can to keep pace as Kenny Reel now jumps to the outside of Bowen. Bowen Reel side by side through 3 and 4. Reel with the advantage. Can he keep that momentum up top? Keep it off of the wall? Yes, he can. Reel not quite clear down into turn number 1. Bowen will drive it in there deep. Wash on up, but off of turn number 2. Kenny Reel clear. Now to the inside of Peacock. So Peacock now trapped up top. Bowen trapped down low. Where does John Ross go? He'll go right through the middle. What a move by John Ross there to split Peacock and Bowen. Now where does the likes of, Jim Otter, Johnny Barker go? As Ott will go around top. Now Barker will try down low. As some great racing through this field here in the late stages of tonight's race. 3 wide off at turn number 2. Somehow they make that work. I don't know how they did that, as once again 3 wide here as Peacock will continue to fade. I think used up his stuff a little bit too early. Same with maybe Jacob Bowen. Those two fading big time now outside of the top 10. Sorry, Bowen just inside at 9th. Peacock now down to 12. Out in front, Jeff Pogo is still keeping that half a second advantage over Matt Taylor. Kenny Reel sits about a second and a half back. Last time Reel a little bit faster than the cars in front, but not enough if he wants to close that gap by the end of this race. Further on back here, Dustin Coggins trying to get around Peacock and Bowen. He will just could clear Bowen off at turn number 2, slam the door. That moves Coggin into P number 11. As Jeff Pogo here into some lap traffic now. How can he navigate this? Can Matt Taylor close the gap? Taylor started second, currently running second here with now 14 to go at the stripe. That time by Taylor about 0.2 of a second quicker, so if Taylor can keep that up, he will catch. But was it because of lap traffic? Now the gap's starting to spread back out once again. Kenny Reel has made up some gap, but like I said, I think it's going to be too little, too late, unless the number 11 can catch a caution flag in this last 13 laps. Further on back, right around the top 10 spot, a group of cars starting to form as a battle for 9th here. As, oh man, one car gets a big piece of the wall down the front stretch. It will dive down into turn number 1, side by side, right on board with Dustin Coggins. Coggins trying to choose his lane correctly. Does he want to go high? Does he want to go low? As they will stay side by side in front of him. Well, once again gets a piece of the wall, but now 3 wide as Coggins will split them both as they still stay side by side. Now an intense battle for 10th as, oh, yellow flag, maybe not, as Coggins was big time sideways off of turn number 2. How did that not throw a yellow? I don't know, but with it last time by, Pogo saw 2 open palms from the flagman. It is 10 laps to go for the 97. He has stretched out his lead to now over a second to Matt Taylor. This guy does not want to see a yellow flag in this next 9 laps. Taylor falling on back here as Kenny Reel starts to catch him, but now John Ross all over the back bumper of Reel. We're going to have a good battle for 2nd through 4th before this race is over. Jeff Pogo out in front, checked on out, but here we go. Ross to the inside of Reel. Ross with a slide job through 1. He will get clear of Reel. He will set his sights on Taylor. Here we go, folks. Closing stages of the race here. No real other battles out on track here at the moment. As we'll keep an eye on this battle here very closely as Ross catching the back bumper of Taylor here with now 7 laps to go. Ross will get a piece of the wall off of turn number 2. Ross can let that car float on up just a little bit more at the apex, and Taylor really carries some good momentum on corner exit. Now Ross to the inside of Taylor for 2nd. Side by side through 1 and 2, Taylor will wash way up the speedway. That will give P number 2 to Ross. Taylor will try and hold on to a podium spot. A little bit of lap traffic at a bad spot for Ross and Reel. As with now 1 single palm from the flagman, it is 5 to go as Reel gets a run to the outside of Taylor. And Kenny Reel will claim that spot, so Reel up into the podium. Johnny Barker a little bit faster than those 2, but can he have enough time to maybe get up to Matt Taylor? He will get in now inside of 2 car lengths, so Barker should be there before this race is over. free to go at the stripe last time by. And that will bring out our 13th yellow. Gonna try and find out on the speedway where it might have been. As with this, we will have our first attempt of 2 of those green, white checkers. We're gonna maybe try and take a look here, see if we can see anything on the front stretch here around maybe the number 30. As here we go, see some smoke out in front of the number 30 machine. Maybe we can get a better view here with the 32. Man, smoke up in front of these guys. Looks like the 69 of Chris Taylor a little bit slow. So let's take a look around Taylor, see what he saw. As all yeah, Taylor and Bowen just meet together off of turn number 2. And that will be enough to throw out the yellow flag here for attempt number 1 at a green, white checkered. And that we see here, most drivers staying on out. So now these restarts gonna be very, very crazy as these tires extremely old, and that means a lot of tire spin here. So these drivers gonna have to be very, very careful getting back on that loud pedal to not only spin some tires but lose a lot of spots while doing it, or even worse, you know, cause a big pile up, as we've seen many of times here at Dover. But before we get ready for our first attempt at a green, white checkered, we'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Alrighty, we come back here at Dover at attempt number 1 of 2 if needed, green, white checkered. So for a green, white checkered, the yellow flag has to come out on the 2 to go lap to have our second attempt at a green, white checkered, and that second attempt being the final attempt. If we do in fact see the white flag, the leader crosses the start finish line, the race is official from there on out. This time by leader choosing. It will be once again the 97 of Jeff Pogo. Pogo will once again choose the inside lane. That will move John Ross in that 44 up into the front row, starting on the outside. What does Ross have left in the tank? What does Real? Can Matt Taylor hold on to that spot? As we saw a hard charge in Johnny Barker. A lot to figure out from here, folks, and it is only 3 laps to do so. Lights are out around the speedway. This time by, we are going back to green flag racing action. Attempt number 1 of 2 of the green, white checkered. The iRacing pace car will quickly get off the racing surface here And then Jeff Pogo has control of the restart. What kind of tire spin will these drivers see? When does Pogo go? He'll once again go right in the middle, and so far looks like everyone rolling cleanly here. As Kenny Reel gets away with a great start, will take over second. Look to the top side of Pogo as they head down the backstretch. Field will head down the backstretch here. Pogo and Reel checked on out. Ross in third. Here we go. The field will make it to the white flag. One more lap to go. Jeff Pogo leads the way. Reel second. Ross third. Contact for fourth. Matt Taylor gets sent up the racetrack off the nose of Johnny Barker. Now Barker and Ritter will drag race down the backstretch. Here we go. Barker will sail it in there deep. Will he have enough? But off of turn number 4, Jeff Pogo will win race number 2. As some calamity at the stripe, we got a big pile up and they are still wrecking here. Man, oh man, they wadded up some race cars there at the end. But what a race by this driver in this black and red number 97 machine, Jeff Pogo. Pogo will bring it down to the front stretch and burn it down for all the fans here tonight. We gotta thank all you guys for tuning on in and watching, but don't go anywhere just yet because we got the post-race show with the top 3 right after a quick commercial break. As man, oh man, Jeff Pogo burning it down nicely on the front stretch here. A massive burnout by the 97 there. You know he is pumped up. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here to Dover and gonna chat with our 3rd place finisher, that being the driver of the number 44. It is John Ross. John, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, Brett, I got a copy.
Alrighty, man. We talked to you a lot last season. This season, first time talking with you. How you feeling after 160 laps at Dover?
Well, pretty good. I'm certainly happy to come away with a top three. I think at one point I was like, man, if I can get a top 12, 15, I would be okay. So I'm certainly happy about that. I really wish before that last caution, I really wish it would have went green. I think we were quicker than Jeff there at the end. But man, I just could not get off of the restarts quick enough. I kept losing one or two spots, and then once the tires came in, I was fine. But I will tell you, I'm not a huge short track guy, so I'll take a top three, and we'll move on to next week.
Yeah, I said last season your bread and butter were those intermediates, and sadly a short track next week, but then going on a pretty long string of kind of intermediate tracks. I assume you have some of those circled.
Yeah, I think certainly that the road courses. I think we've got Watkins Glen on the schedule this season, so I'm happy there too. I really like what Rob's done with having the points go all the way through. So this is really nice for us because every one of these races matter, and something means something. So you come out and you get as many points as you can, and you move on to next week.
Yeah, and trying to get as many points as you can. Probably not the Daytona you wanted, but that race always a crapshoot. Here back in kind of a normal-esque track, walking away with a third. How does the competition seem this season, and what are kind of the goals after a great season that was last season?
Yeah, I think the competition's really good. And again, Brett, I think that's a great question 5 races in, right? 6 races in, because you're going to have some people that are really quick. I think Steve Ritter beat us by 12 or 13 seconds here last year. And I believe it was the race right before the chase started. So, I still don't think, he's super fast. Of course, it looks like Jeff is going to be pretty quick. He's the one that won the race. Frank's always fast. Rob's going to be fast. So, Johnny Barker's always really quick. So I guess you just have to see what the competition is 5 races in after we get to a couple of different types of tracks.
Yeah, that is true because race number 1 at Daytona, not the best indicator. Can definitely get a little bit more from Dover, but yeah, like you said, as the beginning part of this season continues, definitely something to keep an eye out.
Absolutely, and I think we'll see that. So we have New Hampshire next week, and then we're going to start to run into to some tracks that I really enjoy. So, I certainly think if we can make it through next week, and remember this league we get 2 drop weeks. So what I'm trying to do is just keep those in a pocket because we're going to have those where we have to use our fast repairs and we finish in the back of the field. That's coming. So the longer we can if we can do better at the tracks that we don't have circled, that just helps us out for those ones that we do.
Yeah, that is very true and a great way to look at it because, like you mentioned before, a season-long points, no playoffs from last season. That's got to change a little bit of the mindset. Like you said, each and every week, every point matters.
Absolutely. And we look at that as a team too, because, sometimes instead of winning, you're in, those races can wind up different, right? So, you've got somebody in second that, might do something to get a win. Here, we know that that's not necessarily going to matter. So to me, I think a couple laps when Kenny got the jump on me on that last green flag, I just sat behind him and I wasn't going to push it at that point. I'd rather finish third than finish in the back of the pack. So points will play a big role this season.
Yeah, that they will. And yeah, going back to that last restart, it seemed like no matter who started in that second position, they just couldn't fire off good in that second lane. And, whoever restarted third would always get second. And once again, that last restart that happened. Was there anything you were trying to figure out, try to do to hang on to at least second?
Yeah, so I think, I tried a little bit while we were pacing around to just see what it would feel like in first gear. And with as old as our tires were, I just felt like I was going to spin the tires. So I thought maybe they were going to fire off. And of course, whoever gets that jump is always better, especially if I'm starting in second, right? Because I've got that bog and it bogs down just a little bit. And Kenny got a fantastic jump. Jeff got a great jump. And then at that point, it's just like, how can I come out of 2, not scrub the wall and try to stay in third?
Yeah, awesome insight always, John. Appreciate it. But here, first time interviewing you this season, I always like to ask, what kind of sim setup do you got? Any changes from last season, or for those watching for maybe the first time, what do you got in front of you, John?
There probably are a few changes from last season. I'm always messing with it, but I run on a TR 120 aluminum rig. I have a Sim Magic Alpha base. I normally just run a regular Fanatec like NASCAR wheel. Got a couple of button boxes. I'm on triple monitors, so yeah, it's a pretty good rig. It's really comfortable and. Man, I just absolutely love this. But I probably will. I think I added a stream deck since the last time we talked, and I'll probably add more come Black Friday.
Yep, always a good time to add on to that sim rig because you know you can never have enough stuff. There's always something cool to add.
That's right. Yeah, all the time. And of course I always get you with the sales and and of course I'm sure you know, and I'm probably going to say this when you give me my shout out opportunity, but we've got US Sim Motion as our sponsor on the card this season, and we do offer 5% off of anybody that's running 802. So if you're listening and you want some sim gear, if you go to Sim Motion and you use code 802 for the 802 League, you'll get additional 5% off of anything. And that includes stuff that's on sale.
Man, that is awesome to hear, John. And definitely, like you mentioned, a good time to probably use that and maybe some stuff on sale will be Black Friday this Friday. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot. They have open box, all of that stuff. So just kind of go around and look through their website. And they do have some fantastic sales. And like I said, you get this on top of it. Pays half the taxes. Every little bit helps.
yeah, that it does, John. Well, you made a pretty good segue here because the next thing is, of course, handing you the mic. And, I'm sure there's a bunch of people you got to thank as well as Sim Motion here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Brett, first of all, I want to thank you for fantastic coming in mid last season, and we're really happy to have you back this season. Rob, Brandon, Jeff. I'm sure I'm Frank. I'm sure I'm missing a couple of guys that are all the admins of this league. They just do a tremendous job, and anytime you put 40 plus cars on a track, it can be, you can pull your hair out. So certainly appreciate them. And we already talked about Sim Motion. So the last thing I want to say is all of my teammates, and that's going to be this season, Ron, Russ, and Christian. Christian just barely missed the call for tonight, so I hate that for him, but he'll use it as his drop week. And that's it, man. We appreciate it, and fingers crossed for New Hampshire's next week.
Yeah, that one should be a good one. Always a great time talking to you, John, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last time. As actually before the race, not to toot my own horn, I said keep an eye on this 44 car. Qualified a little deep, but I knew you had something in you, and walking away with podium's got to feel pretty good.
I appreciate that, Brett. Yeah, we're going to put on a show for you this season. We'll be back up there again.
All righty, I believe it, John. You have yourself a great rest of the night, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, you too.
All righty, folks. That was our third place finisher, John Ross. Now we head up to the runner-up spot, that going to the 11 of Kenny Reel. Kenny, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, I got you.
All righty, man. Finishing runner-up here at Dover. How are you feeling after 160 laps here?
I'm tired, but I'm glad with the P2.
Yeah, I bet this track is one of the more demanding ones. You look at the track map, you say, oh, it's only a mile, but you get here. The banking is incredible, but even more incredible, the speeds that you got to carry to be fast here.
Yeah, I think the race would have been pretty relatively quick. We just had a lot of cautions here and there. Like we had a first run, I thought we were gonna have a pretty good, or just a green race, but ended up getting a caution. Just with cautions, stacking the field back up, it breeds cautions, and that's what it did. Finally, there at the end, we got a pretty good run again, but it's just tiring really because the cautions, not from the driving, just the cautions were just tiring.
Gotcha. Yeah, there was quite a bit there during the mid pack, but that allowed, a little bit of tire strategy. I see you last pitted on lap 75. Once you did make that final pit stop on 75, did you know that was the last one you were going to make, especially with the amount of yellows we had around that time?
No, honestly, I thought we were gonna get a caution again. Like, I think after lap 120, when one of the last cautions, it was around like 120 ish, and kind of figured we'd get another one. How the race had been going, So I was gonna pit that next caution and take tires because I still left a set in the pits. I still have a set left, and I was gonna take that set the next caution. Well, we didn't get a caution until we got a green light checkered, and since no one in front of me came in, and if I would have pit, I see no one behind me was coming, so I just luckily got back out in time. And but yeah, it was pretty fun though. It definitely a lot of people ate their stuff up. I know there at that last run, there's people that were on like 50 lap newer tires than us, and ended up running them back down and passing them. It's this track lead up tires if you don't know how to use throttle in the center of the corner.
Yeah, that's definitely very true here, Kenny, because we saw many of cars, especially off of turn number 4, either come up and smack that wall pretty hard off of 4, get a little loose. And once that happens here at Dover, especially in these next gen cars, this thing goes right around. What'd you kind of figure out, especially off of turn number 4, to keep this car underneath you?
Oh, really? I kept it in uh, fifth gear the whole race except for the ending of that last green run we had. Just kept it in fifth. The car never got loose. It never slid out from under me. The car felt good. It's just you really got to back off your entry a little bit, use the brakes to kind of slow the car down, get it to where it's planted, and then just slowly get in the throttle. A lot of people just stab the throttle, the center corner, off corner, and they just push tight, ruin their tires. And then after that, once they slide the tires one time, it's over.
Yep, that is very true. You got to really be mindful of the tires, especially with this current tire model here on iRacing. But going back to last week, running up front at Daytona, didn't quite get the finish you want. You come into here at Dover, rebound to a runner up finish. What does that do to the mindset and kind of, especially with the season long points now, what's the game plan from here on out?
Just trying to keep getting consistent finishes. I mean, even if it ain't a win, just top fives, I'll take that all day long. Wins are nice, but if you run consistent, consistency will do more in the longer run than just a win here and there.
Yeah, and speaking about wins, you sit second most in the league with 8. I mean, you're no stranger to victory lane. How are things? I assume that's kind of the goal here for this season as well. Keep on racking up those.
Yeah, I'm definitely coming out here to win as many as I can. I know John's really fast. I know that there's a lot of new people in here. It seems like there's some pretty fast guys in here too. So I mean, it's not going to be no easy feat just coming out here and winning a race. It seems like the field's a little bit more competitive this year. Everybody's pretty much pushing as hard as they can. It seems like so. I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot of strategy some races, but I just hope we get a green flag, a big green flag run where we can do a full stint of fuel and really see how people are with tires, and that'll kind of be the judge of who's what and the drivers to look out for.
Yep, I definitely agree with that, Kenny. Well, I know we interviewed you last season, asked you this question, but I like to ask it each season. What is your sim setup like these days? And, maybe stuff has changed from last season.
Yeah, actually, that's funny. I'm not on the Logitech no more. I got a Thrustmaster direct drive wheelbase now, so I'm on that, which it's 10 times better. But other than that, I'm still the same single monitor desk setup, Thrustmaster load cell pedals. But other than that, just I got a new. I'm on a direct drive now, and it's incredible.
Yeah, I bet. That's awesome to hear, as I'm sure you can definitely feel the difference from gear drive to the old belt drive.
Oh yeah, I can feel everything in the car now, so it definitely helps, especially with the long run and saving tires.
Yeah, that it does. Well, awesome job here tonight, Kenny. Before we let you go, I'm going to go hand the mic over to you and thank who you got to thank with this number 11 team here tonight at Dover.
Yeah, I just want to thank all my teammates over at Piston Broke, Frank, Brandon, Jason, Dustin. We were all, goofing around tonight during the race. It was pretty funny. It was a pretty fun time. Want to give a shout out to Premier Setups. They make pretty good setups. I'm with them, so if you ever need an open setup, go look out for them. And I just want to give a shout out to all the admins: Rob, Leaf Guard, BG Graphics, DTL Customs. Sure, I'm missing somebody, and all the admins that do that. And I just want to give you a shout out for put on an amazing broadcast.
Alrighty, well, thank you very much, Kenny. You have yourself a great rest of the night. Go celebrate the runner-up, but I'm sure this won't be the last time this season we'll be talking to you.
Let's hope not. Appreciate it, brother.
Alrighty, folks, that was our runner-up finisher, Kenny Reel, finishing in P2. Now we'll head down to Victory Lane and talk to the man of the hour. It is Jeff Pogo. Jeff, you got a copy of Breath of Jet in the booth here?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Alrighty, man. Heck of a race by you. You showed some speed early on in this race, and then, man, turned it up there at the end, walking away with the second checkered flag of the season, race number 2. Already checking that box. How you feeling?
Not too bad. Wish I would have had a little more green flag run. My strength here is on long runs, but it kept it interesting for sure with the cautions and the tire strategies. I knew Kenny, John, and Steve were all coming pretty quick. Thought Jim was going to be up there towards the end. I raced with him in a league that I used to run. He's a clean, hard racer and usually saves his stuff, so I expected him to be there as well.
Yeah, a lot of guys kind of making their mark here early at a, a little bit more technical track than Daytona. I mean, what kind of info did you get here early? I know you're one of the quote-unquote rookies, but already parking in Victory Lane. That shows a force to be reckoned with here early.
It just happens to be this is one of my better tracks. It's like you said, being a rookie, second race in the league here, and really the first. I consider this a real track. Um, you don't know anybody yet. You don't know how they're going to race. You don't know what their tendencies are. It's going to take a couple races to figure that out. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, with you being a rookie, might not know everyone out on track who you're racing against. What are the expectations for you coming into this season? A long single points all season long. What's kind of the outlook for the 97?
I just try to do what I do best, man. Try to stay consistent, clean, good finishes, not necessarily wins. Those are a plus, obviously, but consistent top tens are what's going to get it done over this. What is it, 22 weeks or whatever it is? So just try to be consistent, make as least amount of errors possible.
Yeah, we heard that from many drivers, including yourself. Consistency is definitely going to be key, but walking away with a win here tonight definitely going to help that cause, especially after Daytona. I think you fared all right with that last lap wreck, right?
Yeah, I squeaked out a seventh place finish. Usually I'm in the 30s at a super speedway. I always have good strategy, but always get caught up in the big one at the end.
Yeah, so a little bit of luck there and some skill here tonight. You mentioned that Dover was a track you were looking forward to. Is there any track maybe at the top of the bucket list, or was this here tonight?
This one, any road course, which I think we have Watkins Glen is the only one. And really any of the flatter tracks are usually where I start to shine. But I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of time in this next gen car. I usually run, Xfinity or truck or even Gen 6 car. I don't particularly care for this one, so I can honestly say this is the first race I've ever done in this car.
Wow, that is impressive. But yeah, Jeff, I tell people a lot, it really does help to kind of broaden their palette on what cars you race on iRacing, because even though, some might like the Xfinity more than the Cup car, you can really learn how to race well on the sim by being a little bit more well-rounded, so that whenever you jump in something new, you already have maybe that much more of an advantage.
Oh, for sure. My bread and butter really is road racing. Not necessarily in a stock car, but GT3, V8 supercars, stuff like that. I like the more technical stuff. So this is definitely a change of pace. But like you said, if you can jump in any kind of car in any discipline, it definitely helps either way.
Yeah, and reading a little bit about you at one point with the lead, Jeff, you said your ultimate racing to watch is that Mount Panorama with the V8 supercars. And I'm like, oh yeah, this guy knows his stuff here.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun one. I look forward to the 12 hours of Bathurst on here every year. So
Yeah, that you ended up winning one, no, isn't that correct?
yeah, we've got a couple second places and then one once. So we've been the bridesmaid a few times, but one win so far there.
Yeah, and especially those team endurance races. One, it feels good to get it done, especially to finish, but to win one, man, at least to me, there's not a feeling like it to be able to celebrate with a team.
Nope, you are correct. We're still hunting for that 24 hours of Daytona win. We've got a couple seconds, but trying to get it done this year, I guess.
Oh yeah, need all the stars to align for that one because as everyone knows, it is a very long race and you can see the kind of the wackiest stuff happen to take people out.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's any endurance race. I mean, Mount Panorama last year, we pretty much lapped the entire field minus second place by 3 hours in, and my teammate, who's actually Eric Holly and Steve Holmes, who race in here too, Eric took over, and some guys that were laps down wrecked at the top of the mountain while we were leading, and Eric had nowhere to go. That was the end of
Oh,
our race.
yeah, that's a heartbreaking one to lose it like that. But yeah, Jeff, so while we got you here, down here in Victory Lane, I always like to ask, especially first time interviewing someone, I always like to get a little insight on the driver and especially what they got in front of them. You know, what's kind of sim setup do you got? Maybe monitors, wheels, pedals, all that good jazz.
Pretty much Moza everything. CRP Pro pedals, the R9 base wheel, triple monitors, track racer rig. Actually, I have a fourth monitor up top with all the telemetry, SG Racing, CNC shifters, and tablets up here for the dash and stuff like that. Control all my stuff, butt kickers, the whole works.
Man, that sounds like a sweet sim setup. I won't ask you how much you got into in case the other half is watching or whatnot.
She already knows.
All right, all right. Well, Jeff, it's been awesome talking to you here down in Victory Lane, picking up your first win of the season, first win with 802. But before we let you go, I'm going to go hand the mic over to you and thank who you got to thank down here in Victory Lane.
I got to thank you guys first and foremost for broadcasting, all the admins in here putting this league together. I know it's early. We had some cautions at Daytona, cautions here. You can see they handle it pretty well. They're already making changes to adapt for any issues they've seen. So appreciate that and the work they put in. And then got to thank my wife, obviously, 'cause she's upstairs trying to control a 4.5-year-old right now while I do this. And then my teammates, Steve Holmes, Dan Dill, and Eric Holly for deciding to join the league with me. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that it is, Jeff. So once again, a pleasure talking to you here tonight. We won't keep you any longer. We'll let you go celebrate this win. So, Jeff, have yourself a great rest of the night, and we'll be talking to you on the flip side.
Have a good one, Brett.
Alrighty, folks, that was down from Victory Lane talking to Jeff Pogo, picking up the win here for race number 2 at Dover. So let's head on over and go through the finishing results for the Miles the Monster 160 here at Dover. Jeff Pogo will walk away with tonight's victory. Finishing second was the 11 of Kenny Reel. Finishing P number 3, rounding out the podium, is the 44 of John Ross. Finishing in fourth will be Steve Ritter in the 16 Ford Mustang. Then rounding out the top 5 will be another Ford Mustang, that being piloted by Johnny Barker in the 6th. 6th place going to the 4 of Jim Ott. 7th is Rob Lowell in the 21. 8th is car number 8 of Matt Taylor. 9th going to the 90 of Steve Holmes, and rounding out the top 10 will be the 2 car of Nick Larson. 11th going to Justin Branham in the 58. 12th is Dustin Coggin in the 42. '13th will be the 17 or the 80 of Victor Pfluger. 14th is Kyle Peacock in the 83. 15th going to Eric Holly in the 7. 16th is Chris Taylor 17th is Eli Raposa. 18th, Jacob Bowen. 19th, Dan Dill. And rounding out the top 20 is will be the 15 of Emilio Romero. Then 21st is the 9 of Jeff Barefoot. 22nd will be the 1 of Brandon Guerin. 23rd is the 55 of Mike Babinchak. 24th is Cameron Robertson. 25th is Ariba Caton. Then we have Caleb Hatt, Jason Wiley, Bryce Shoemaker, and then Frank Zingen. Then Ronald Losi will round out the top 30. 31st is Robert Denton. 32nd is Austin Smith. And Matt Cost will round out the field of drivers that started tonight's race. Thanks again for everyone tuning on in here on YouTube. Really do appreciate all the views. I mean, after week number 1, we hit some killer numbers. So want to give a huge shout out to all you guys for over, I believe now, 250 views. So give your guys a self pat on the back because that is awesome to see. So can't show my gratitude enough. But yeah, I want to say thank you to all you guys. And also thank you to all the guys in the YouTube chat. You know, give me pointers. Also, let me know who you're rooting for. It does help me out here in the booth. And then we got to thank, of course, all the drivers putting on the show for us to watch, the admins that make it happen, and, of course, all those important sponsors, that being BG Graphics, Out of the Woods Crafts, DTL Customs Leaf Guard, and, of course, Riptide Radio. Riptide Radio, sounds of the salt, sand, and sea from Ocean Drive in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Be sure to check them on out at riptideradio.com. Also, speaking about checking out stuff, Turn 3 is partnered with Premier Setup, so there's a link in the description that will take you over there. If you wouldn't mind at least clicking it, even if you don't plan to buy anything. Shows us that we are driving some traffic, and shows that their support does go a long way towards us in Turn 3 to keep you guys with the broadcast that you see here. So I have been Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to tune into Turn 3 throughout the week as we have some great racing, include some of these guys. But that being on Tuesday night with the 802 boys with Roger Muth in the booth for the Dirt Small Block East Coast Modifieds. Well, I believe that will do it for race number 2. Definitely some shakeups after Daytona where anything can happen. But tonight, Jeff Pogo defeats Miles the Monster. So everyone take care. Have a great week. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone tuning on. Hopefully you have a great one. I know I plan to have one myself. So everyone take care. Enjoy the holidays. Be grateful and thankful for something, as we'll catch you next Sunday at North Wilkesboro. Take care, stay safe, and I've been Brett the Jet, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.